small family who lived in a beautiful house in the countryside. The family consisted of a mother, father, and their young daughter. Lily was a curious child who loved to explore the world around her. She had a particular fondness for dolls and had a collection of them in her room. One day, while out shopping, Lily's parents stumbled upon an old antique doll that they thought their daughter would love. It was a beautiful doll with blonde, curly hair, dressed in an elegant Victorian-style dress. They brought the doll home, and Lily was thrilled to have a new addition to her collection. However, things started to take a dark turn as soon as the new doll arrived. Lily began to have terrible nightmares every night, where she would see the doll moving on its own. She would wake up in a cold sweat, convinced that the doll was alive and trying to harm her. Her parents brushed it off as an overactive imagination. But Lily knew that there was something wrong with the doll. As time went on, the doll began to show signs of life. Its eyes would follow Lily around the room, and she could feel its presence even when she wasn't looking at it. The doll's once beautiful face began to an eerie smile, and its lips twisted into an eerie smile. Lily's nightmares continued, and she was convinced that the doll was trying to kill her. One night, Lily woke up to find the doll standing at the end of her bed, its lifeless eyes staring right at her. Lily screamed for her parents, but they didn't come. It was as if they couldn't hear her cries for help. Lily tried to run, but the doll was too fast. It grabbed her by the ankle and dragged her across the room. Lily finally managed to break free from the doll's grip and ran out of her room. She was so terrified that she didn't stop running until she was outside. When she turned around, she saw the doll standing in the window, looking out at her with its creepy smile. The next morning, Lily's parents found her outside, curled up in a ball, still shaking with fear. They were shocked and confused by what had happened and didn't know what to do. They decided to get rid of the doll, but when they went to her room, it was gone. Lily's nightmares stopped, and everything seemed to go back to normal. However, one day, Lily's parents received a package in the mail. It was the doll. They didn't know how it got there or who sent it, but they knew they had to get rid of it again. They took the doll to the local dump and threw it away. Lily's nightmares never returned, and the family went back to their peaceful life in the countryside. But as it turned out, the doll wasn't done with them yet. It was determined to have its revenge. It wasn't long before strange things began to happen in the house. Doors would open and close on their own, and Lily's parents would hear the sound of the doll's laughter coming from empty rooms. They realized too late that the doll was cursed, and they had made a terrible mistake by bringing it into their home. The doll had become a vessel for an evil spirit that was now haunting their family. They tried to get rid of it, but it was too late. The doll had become a part of their lives, and they would never be able to escape its grasp. In the end, the family disappeared without a trace, and the only thing left behind was the forgotten doll, still sitting in the dump, waiting for its next victim. For as long as anyone could remember, the Blackwood family had lived in the manor, their ancestors buried deep in the crypt beneath the house. But something sinister lurked within the walls of the manor, something that had been kept secret for centuries. The story began when a young couple, Emma and Michael, decided to purchase the manor and restore it to its former glory. They had always been fascinated by the old house and saw the potential in its crumbling walls. However, they had no idea of the horrors that lay ahead. Since Emma is much interested in the mansion, Michael had decided to buy it at any cost. As soon as they moved into the manor, strange things began to happen. Emma would hear strange noises in the night, and Michael would see ghostly figures in the windows. They both dismissed it as their imagination, but the occurrences became more frequent and more intense. One night, Emma woke up to find a figure standing at the foot of her bed. She screamed in terror, and Michael came running to her side. But when he turned on the light, there was no one there. It was shocking. The couple soon realized that the manor was haunted by the spirits of the Blackwood family. They sought the help of a local parapsychologist who helped them to understand the history of the manor and the tragic events that had led to the haunting. It was said that the first Blackwood, a cruel and ruthless man, had murdered his wife and children in a fit of rage. Their spirits had been trapped in the manor ever since, unable to rest until their killer was brought to justice. Emma and Michael were determined to put the spirits to rest and decided to investigate further. They discovered that the Blackwood family crypt was located beneath the manor and decided to pay a visit. As soon as they opened the crypt, they were met by a chilling sight. The spirits of the Blackwood family were trapped inside, their ghostly forms writhing in agony. Emma and Michael realized that they had to end the cycle of violence and put the spirits to rest. With the help of the parapsychologist, they were able to communicate with the spirits and learn the truth about the murder. The first Blackwood had indeed killed his family, but it was not out of rage. He had been driven to madness by the guilt of an affair with another woman. Emma and Michael decided to set the spirits free by holding a seance in the manor. They invited friends and family to join them, and together they summoned the spirits of the Blackwood family. The seance was a success, and the spirits were finally able to rest in peace. The manor was no longer haunted, and Emma and Michael were able to live in peace. But they never forgot the haunting of Blackwood Manor and the tragic events that had led to it. The couple decided to leave the manor to the town of Ravenswood to be used as a museum in memory of the Blackwood family and their tragic fate. The haunting of Blackwood Manor had come to an end, but the memory of it would live on forever. In a small, unsuspecting town lived the Smith family, Emily, James, and their 2 children, Lily and Daniel. They had recently moved into an old Victorian house, unaware of the dark history that lurked within its walls. As they settled into their new home, strange occurrences began to unfold. It all began as one late night, Lily awoke to the sound of creaking floorboards outside her bedroom. Curiosity getting the better of her, she cautiously tiptoed towards the source of the noise. As she neared the stairs, the sound abruptly stopped. Lily peered into the darkness, feeling a chill run down her spine, but she couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching her. The following evening, the family gathered for dinner. The atmosphere was tense as they discussed the unsettling events of the past few nights. As James tried to lighten the mood, he pointed to an old portrait hanging on the dining room wall. "Look at this peculiar painting," he said. "It seems so out of place, as if it doesn't belong here." The portrait depicted a somber-looking woman with piercing eyes and a hint of malevolence in her smile. The family couldn't help but feel an eerie presence emanating from the artwork, but they dismissed it as mere imagination. That night, Lily had a vivid nightmare. She dreamt of the woman from the portrait, reaching out with long, gnarled fingers and whispering dreadful secrets into her ear. Lily awoke in a cold sweat, her heart racing. As she glanced towards the bedroom door, she saw a shadowy figure standing just outside her room, watching her. Terrified, Lily quickly woke her parents. James, determined to protect his family, searched the house, finding no intruders. However, he couldn't shake off the feeling that something sinister was at play. The next day, Emily decided to research the history of the house. She discovered that the previous owner, an artist named Evelyn Hartman, had lived there. According to the records, Evelyn was known for her disturbing artwork. Rumor had it that she had dabbled in dark magic, and her paintings were said to hold a sinister power. The family realized that the cursed portrait in her dining room was painted by Evelyn herself. The unsettling events began to make sense, as if the spirit of the artist had been awakened by their presence in the house. Desperate to break free from the haunting, they sought the help of a renowned paranormal investigator, Dr. Robert Reed. Dr. Reed searched into the history of Evelyn Hartman and the supernatural occurrences that plagued the Smith family. Together, they unraveled the truth. Evelyn had made a pact with an entity, using her paintings as vessels to trap souls. The cursed portrait in the Smith's house held the trapped spirits of those unfortunate enough to cross Evelyn's path. Dr. Reed devised a plan to banish the evil spirit. Armed with ancient incantations, they prepared for a final confrontation. As midnight approached, the family gathered around the cursed painting, their hearts pounding with anticipation. Dr. Reed recited the incantations, his voice reverberating through the house. A chilling wind blew through the room, causing the portrait to tremble. The spirit fought back, unleashing dark energy. But the combined will of the Smith family and Dr. Reed proved stronger. With one final surge of power, the spirit was banished and the curse was broken. The painting turned to ash, and the atmosphere that had plagued the house dissipated. The Smith family breathed a collective sigh of relief, grateful to be free from the clutches of the insidious haunting. However, as they rebuilt their lives, they couldn't forget the horrors they had been through. They knew that evil could lie hidden in the most unexpected places, ready to prey. And as they moved forward, they vowed to always remain vigilant, preventing another insidious darkness befall them.